So, welcome to the Applied Physics Lab. Here we are going to perform so many experiments belonging to different faculties of physics. But before that, because every experiment needs an observation, and the observations are taken with the help of instruments, measuring instruments. You might be having, say, a meter for measuring current. You can have a definite instrument for measurement of the length. You can even have the instrument for measuring the time interval. So we are going to deal with basically the measuring instruments here in this class. And first of all, before looking into measuring instrument, let us see the measuring instrument which we know very well. And this is that measuring instrument, that is a scale, a meter scale. You can see here that in this meter scale, you are having 10 centimeter mark, 20 centimeter mark, 30 and 40 and so on. And below this 10 centimeter, even you are going to have the mark for 1 centimeter, 2 centimeter, 3, 4 and so on. So if you are well versed with the meter scale, you know that between the distance of 1 centimeter or the distance of 1 centimeter, it is divided into 10 equal parts, and each equal part is exactly equal to 1 millimeter. So this 1 millimeter is the accuracy of this meter scale, or the meter scale can measure the distance very accurately if they are either up to 1 mm or they are multiple of 1 mm. If they are integral multiple of 1 mm, then obviously you are going to measure the length of that object with full accuracy with the help of this instrument. But if their length is less than 1 mm, or in other words, the length of the object is not an integral multiple of 1 mm, then in that case it is not easy for us to measure the length with the help of meter scale. And that's why we look for the instrument which can measure that type of distance. And that's why every instrument in the physics lab is going to have a definite minimum value that can be measured with the help of that instrument. And that minimum value will be known as the least count of the apparatus or the measuring instrument. In this specific case, 1 mm is the least count of the meter scale. So suppose we want to have an instrument having a least count less than with this 1 mm or 0.1 centimeter, then I have to opt for other measuring instruments. So here in this class we are going to discuss basically the measuring instrument which are designed to measure the length of the object. So as I told you that we need the instrument which has more accuracy or smaller least count. That's why we shift to another instrument for the measurement of the length, and that is known as the vernier calipers. You can see this is the vernier calipers. In this vernier calipers you might have seen in the school also. This is the vernier calipers. We are having here, this slide is showing you the parts of the vernier calipers. This is the main scale. This one calibrated in mm is the main scale. Here it is having a total length of say 15 or 20 centimeter. This scale is known as the vernier scale. This one was the main scale. This is vernier scale. Then this vernier scale is having two pair of jaws. One pair of jaw, this jaw, is used for measuring the outer dimension of the object. This pair of jaw here, it is used for measuring the inner dimension of the objects, provided that object is hollow. For example, suppose we have a pipe and we want to find the inner diameter of the pipe, then these two jaws can be used. If we want to find the outer diameter of the pipe, then these two jaws can be used. And suppose we want to find the depth of any beaker or any other object like that, then we are going to use this stem. This stem is used for measuring the depth. So whether we are measuring the outer dimension or the inner dimension, obviously we are going to use the same scale. That is one main scale, and then there is a vernier scale. As I told you that every instrument might be having a least count, means the smallest value of length that it can measure. Here in the case of vernier calipers and screw gauge, where we are talking about measuring the length. So let us see how we can get the value of the least count for this vernier calipers. You can see here, these are the divisions on the main scale, and these are the divisions on the vernier scale. If you see clearly, in this vernier scale there are 50 divisions, total 50 divisions. And whenever you close these two jaws, means you keep these two jaws in contact, this length of 50 divisions on the vernier may be corresponding to certain number of divisions on the main scale. So when we want to find the least count of the vernier calipers, then we must know, see, one scale is very well known to us. This is the main scale. Main scale is calibrated in mm. So obviously we know it is 1 mark means it is 1 centimeter or 10 mm. Obviously 50 mark, then it is equal to 50 mm or 5 centimeter. But we do not know the exact length of this vernier scale division. And whenever we want to find the least count, in the case of vernier calipers, the least count, which is a general term, is having a special name, and that name is vernier constant. So basically in the case of vernier, we do not find least count, instead we find the vernier constant for the vernier scale. So the vernier constant, let us see what is the definition of the vernier constant. There is the length of one division of main scale, that is the distance between the 0 mark and the first mark engraved on the main scale. And there is the length of one division on the vernier scale, that is between 0 mark and the first division engraved on the vernier scale. The vernier constant is basically the difference between the length of one division of main scale and one division of vernier scale. So that we have to find before using the vernier calipers. So let us move to the next slide, where we are going to find the vernier constant. See here. The vernier constant, as I told you, is the difference in the length of one division of vernier and one division of main scale. In the case of main scale, we know the length of one division, that is equal to 1 mm. But we do not know the length of one division of the vernier calipers. So first what we do, we try to find the length of one division of vernier scale. So what we see in general case, n divisions of vernier are basically equal to n minus 1 division of main scale. So n vernier scale divisions are equal to n minus 1 vernier main scale division. For example, the vernier calipers which I was showing to you, in that specific case, the 50 divisions of the vernier, that is n is equal to 50. 50 divisions of vernier are equal to 50 minus 1, that is 49 divisions of the main scale. So obviously the value of one division of vernier is going to be equal to n minus 1 divided by n. We have transposed this n to this side. So obviously one division of vernier will be equal to n minus 1 divided by n divisions of main scale. Or the same can be written as n upon n, that is equal to 1 division of main scale minus 1 upon n main scale division. That is 1 division of vernier scale is equal to 1 division of vernier minus 1 by n division of main scale division. Or I can write, if I transpose this, then I find 1 main scale division minus 1 vernier scale division is equal to 1 by n main scale division. So 1 main scale division minus 1 vernier scale division. This is what is known as the vernier constant. This is the value according to the definition of vernier constant. The difference in the length of one main scale division and one vernier scale division is basically equal to least count. So least count of the vernier is always equal to 1 divided by n, that is number of division on the vernier scale of main scale division. Here it is shown that least count or the vernier constant is basically equal to 1 main scale division minus 1 vernier scale division. So obviously comparison of this and this gives us the value that the least count or the vernier constant is equal to 1 by n of main scale division. So accordingly, whatever be the vernier calipers, whatever be the number of the divisions on the vernier scale, irrespective of that, the formula for getting the least count or the vernier constant becomes equal to 1 divided by n main scale division. That is value of one main scale division divided by total number of divisions on the vernier scale. Okay, so if I want to find the least count or the vernier constant of the vernier scale, then it is equal to value of one main scale division divided by total vernier scale divisions. So that will be the process by which we can get the vernier constant. Now let us see how we can use this vernier calipers for getting the value of the dimension of any object. It is shown in this video. You can see here, this is a vernier. The object, the dimension of which was to be measured, is kept between these two jaws because outer dimension is required. Then what we see, this is the reference line of the vernier. What division of main scale has been crossed? Obviously 2.4 has been crossed, 2.5 is not crossed, so 2.4 is the main scale division. So main scale reading is 2.4 centimeter, obviously. Then we find which division of this vernier is exactly coincident with any division of main scale. You see here the 7th division is exactly coincident. So 7 multiplied by least count. See here, the matching, these divisions do not match exactly with any division, but 7 division matches. So 7 multiplied by least count, that is 0.01, so it becomes 0.07. This 0.07 is added with the main scale reading 2.4 to get the final reading, which is equal to 2.47 centimeter. So in this way, so first we have to take the main scale reading, then we have to find the vernier scale reading. Vernier scale division, number of division must be multiplied by least count to get the vernier scale reading. Then the vernier scale reading is added with the main scale reading to find the final reading of the dimension of the object kept between the jaws of the vernier calipers. Let us see the next example here. Here we are having the actual vernier calipers which we use in the lab. So let us see so many things in this vernier. First of all, you can find here, because it is too much clear as compared to the other diagrams, other visuals. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 divisions are there between 0 and 1. So obviously between 0 and 10, the total number of divisions on the vernier scale are going to be equal to 50. So the value of capital N becomes equal to 50. And what you see, this is 4 centimeter mark, this is 5 centimeter mark. Between 4 centimeter and 5 centimeter, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 divisions are there. So one division or the smallest division of the main scale is equal to 1 mm or 0.1 centimeter. So 0.1 centimeter divided by number of divisions on the vernier scale, that is 50, is going to give me the least count, and the least count becomes equal to 1 mm. See here, least count is 1 mm divided by 50 divisions, that is 0.02 mm or 0.002 centimeter. So this is the least count. Now, when I am asking you to find the value of the reading in this vernier scale, You see, this is the reference line of the vernier scale. This reference has crossed this division, that is 3.5, 3.6 and 3.7. 3.7 has been crossed, but 3.8 has not been crossed. So main scale reading becomes equal to 37 mm or 3.7 centimeter. Similarly, you go on matching the divisions. Here 0 division is not matching, 1 2, not even 5th, not even 10th, not even 15th, not even 20th. See, after that you find that certain divisions are actually coincident with any divisions on the vernier. So here you can see this is a 5 division, 10 division, 15 division, 20 division, 21, 22 and 23rd division is exactly coincident with this line. So 23 is the reading of the vernier scale. 23rd division. So this 23rd division is now multiplied by the least count, which is 0.02 mm. So 37 mm plus 23 multiplied by 0.02 mm becomes the final reading, that is equal to 37.46 mm or 3.746 centimeter. So this is how we read the vernier calipers. The magnified form of this portion of the vernier has been shown here. You can see this is not coincident, this one is not coincident, not even this, but this is exactly coincident with the 6 mark. So this is 20th division, 21st, 22nd and 23rd division is exactly coincident with any division of the main scale. So that gives us the vernier reading, and in this way we find the total reading of the vernier calipers. Now let us move to the next slide. Now this is a task for you, and you have to find what is the reading here. Obviously again same vernier is being used, so one division of the main scale is going to correspond to same reading as told in the previous example. Then you have this vernier scale reference which has crossed a certain mark on the main scale, so that will be main scale reading. Next you have to find which division of this vernier scale is exactly coincident with any division on the vernier, and that you can find somewhere here. So this is your task, and you are going to reply after the class is over what will be the total reading of this vernier calipers. So that is the first task which is assigned to you. So please do it. The magnified form of this is being shown here to find exactly which division is coincident with any division of the main scale. So that's all about this vernier. Now let us move to a bit. Knowledge is essential when we are using this sensitive instrument. Is there any error in the instrument? And if there is an error, we must know what is the error, how much is the error, how to get the corrected reading. So in this slide you can see here there is a main scale. This is the main scale. This is the reference line of the main scale. Similarly, this is a vernier scale and this is the reference line of the vernier scale. Obviously, first task was to find the least count or the vernier constant. You can see from 0 to 1 centimeter is divided into 10 divisions. So obviously, one division's length is going to be equal to 0.1 mm. And the total number of divisions on the vernier are only 10. So the least count is going to be equal to 1 mm divided by 10, that is 0.1 mm or 0.01 centimeter. So this is the least count. Now, how to get the error? What is the law governing error? That is to be understood. This is the reference line of the main scale. When the two jaws are in contact, at that time this reference line of this vernier scale is not even reached the reference line of the main scale. Means it has still to travel certain distance to reach the reference line or to be coincident with the reference line of the main scale. Because it has not reached the mark, there is an error. And this type of error, where a certain more distance is to be moved for reaching the reference line of the main scale by the reference line of the vernier scale, this error is known as the positive error. positive zero error. This is known as positive zero error. So we are talking about zero error. The two zeros, that is two references of main scale and vernier scale, are not coincident. So this is a positive error. How to get, what is the, this is the positive error. Theoretically we can say, oh, the reading is not correct because the instrument is having error. But now to get the corrected reading, it is very much essential to find what is the value of the zero error. To get the value of zero error, again we try to find which division of the vernier scale is exactly coincident with any division of the main scale. You can see any division, 10th, 9th, 5th, no, not at all. Only except one, all divisions are non-coincident with any division of the main scale. So obviously the first division, that is one division, is the amount of error. To convert this into dimension of length, obviously this one division must be multiplied by the least count. So one division multiplied by least count 0.01 mm, 0.1 mm is equal to 0.1 mm. So there is an error of 0.1 mm. Now suppose the observed reading is 37.4. You observed the reading to be equal to 37.4. But there the instrument is having an error, that is a positive error, and the positive error is having a magnitude of 1 multiplied by 0.1 mm. So obviously the corrected reading will be obtained when you subtract the zero error with sign from the observed reading. As I told you, this error, when the zero, that is reference of the vernier, is still to move certain distance to reach the reference line of the main scale. In that specific case, it is positive error. So what I am doing to get the corrected reading, I am subtracting with sign the error. The error is of 0.1 millimeter and it is getting subtracted from 37.4, which is the observed reading. So 37.4 minus of plus 0.1 becomes equal to 37.3 millimeter or 3.73 centimeter. So this is how we find what is positive error, and this is the way in which we find how to correct it. Now let us move to the next, in which we are going to see the negative error. Again you can see this is the reference line of the main scale, this is the reference line of the vernier. So if the vernier's reference line has overshoot the main scale's reference line, then that type of error is known as the negative error. So this mark should have been here if it is errorless instrument, but what it has done, it has overshoot the mark of the main scale reference. That's why this is negative error. Again, to find negative error, we try to find the number of division which is exactly coincident with any division of the main scale. So you can see first non-coincident, second non-coincident, third non-coincident, even fifth non-coincident, sixth, seventh, but eighth mark is exactly coincident with any line of the main scale. So number of division which is going to give me the error is the eighth division. But there is a difference in the case of positive error and negative error. See, in the case of positive error, if the first division is coincident, this first division multiplied by the least count gives me the error. But in the case of negative error, the number of division is subtracted by the total number of division on the vernier. So the total number of divisions on the vernier are 10. 10 minus the 8th division, which is equal to 2. 2 multiplied by 0.1 mm gives me the value of error in millimeter or the dimension of length. So 0.2 mm will be the error in this specific case, and the error will be a negative error. Now suppose again the measured reading, observed reading is 37.4. Then to get the corrected reading, I subtract the zero error with sign from the observed reading. So 37.4, that is observed reading, minus of minus 0.2 mm, which is equal to 37, that is 37.4, plus of 0.2, that is equal to 37.6 mm or 3.76 mm. So that's all in the negative zero error of the vernier calipers. Now we come to certain instrument which use the vernier scale. So all the times you are not going to find the same vernier calipers as which you have seen in your previous classes or we have shown in the diagram. Here this is another instrument which is used in the physics lab. It is also using a vernier scale or vernier calipers. Here you can see this is the long scale. This long scale is basically the main scale or the horizontal main scale. and this small part is the vernier scale. That is, here we are going to get the vernier divisions, and this is the scale which will be calibrated in millimeter or even fraction of millimeter. In the same instrument, it is not the only one vernier being used. Second vernier is this vertical vernier, because this instrument can measure the horizontal distance as well as the vertical distance, and that's why two verniers are being used, one in the horizontal direction and second is in the vertical direction. So this is vertical vernier scale. Obviously this is going to be the main scale of the vertical scale, and this is going to be the vernier scale. The process of reading remains same, there is no change. You have to find the least count. After getting least count, you have to find the main scale reading, then you have to find the number of division which is exactly coincident with any division, and that must be multiplied with the least count, and the obtained value is to be added with the main scale reading. So the process remains same, just the instrument is different, and we want to tell you that the shape doesn't matter, the concept matters. So this is another vernier calipers used in traveling microscope. This part of this instrument is basically a microscope. With the help of this microscope, you can measure the microscopic distances or microscopic separations, and for the measurement of that we are using the vernier calipers. Another type of traveling microscope, that was the traveling microscope having two-dimensional motion, that is vertical as well as horizontal. Here is another instrument which uses the vernier calipers. It is also a traveling microscope. This is the microscope tube for measuring the horizontal separations, small microscopic separations, but it is having only one scale, that is horizontal scale. It is having no vertical motion, so no vertical scale. The various parts of the instrument are shown here. You can see this is the eyepiece, and this one is the objective. This is the knob for focusing the objective. Then there is a vernier scale. Then there are the two rails on which the traveling microscope is moving. Then there is a screw for fine positional adjustment of the cross wire. So these are the parts of this traveling microscope. The scale which I was talking, you can see here, this is the vernier scale used in the traveling microscope. Here the distance between 7 centimeter and 8 centimeter, can you see this? 7 centimeter and 8 centimeter. This is divided into 20 different parts, 20 equal parts. So 1 centimeter divided by 20, that is equal to 0.5 centimeter or 0.05 centimeter is the value of one division of the main scale. Then you can see between this reference and this, the mark where it is written 0.5 or 1.0, total 50 divisions are there. So here the least count will be one division, that is 0.05 centimeter, divided by 50, that will be the least count of the apparatus. Obviously least count of this vernier is going to be greater than the other vernier which I have shown you. So the least count will be value of one division of main scale, which is equal to 0.05 centimeter. Total number of division on the vernier scale, that is equal to 50. So that will be the least count that you have to find. This is the second job that you have to do when you complete seeing this video. Now another instrument which is going to use the vernier calipers is this instrument which is known as the spectrometer. This spectrometer has a collimator for collimated beam or parallel beams of light. Then there is a telescope with the help of which those parallel beams are observed. This is the prism table on which you can keep a prism or any instrument which can produce diffraction of light. So here also the scale, this scale, because this is rotating, this telescope rotates around an axis. So obviously here the separations measured are not linear separation. Instead those separations are the angular separations. So this is the instrument for measuring the angular distances, and to measure the angular distance again we are going to use the vernier calipers. So let us see how the vernier calipers of this instrument looks like. This is the vernier calipers. You can say this is the mark for 170 degree. This is 180 degree. The the 170 and 180, that is 10 degree, is divided into 20 parts. So one division of this vernier is going to be equal to 0.5 degree or 30 minutes. Similarly, if you see the number of divisions from this 0 to 30, total 30 divisions are there. So total number of vernier scale division are 30. So obviously when we talk about the least count of this instrument, that will be equal to 0.5 degree, not 0.5 mm, not 0.5 centimeter. As I told you, this is the instrument for measuring the angular separations. So one division of the main scale corresponds to 0.5 degree or 30 minutes divided by 30 divisions on the vernier. So obviously it is going to be equal to 1 minute. That will be the least count of this instrument. Here this is the vernier scale, this one is the main scale. This main scale is calibrated from 0 degree to 360 degree, a complete circle. So this measures the angular separation. Although this is a vernier scale, but it never measures as usual. You can think that any vernier is going to measure the linear separation. This specific vernier is going to measure the angular separation. Now, the second instrument which is used for measuring the smaller linear separations is the screw gauge. And this screw gauge is basically used for measuring the gauges of the wire or the sheets. So that gauge is basically the thickness or the diameter of very fine wires. The various parts of this screw gauge are shown here. You can see here it is known this fixed stud is known as anvil. Then this one is the spindle which rotates and moves. It rotates about its own axis of this cylinder, and it also moves in the linear to reduce this linear separation between anvil and spindle. This spindle is basically connected to a screw. That screw is inside this instrument. Then this is the sleeve. This portion is known as the sleeve. This is known as the thimble, and this scale is known as the head scale. This is head scale, and this sleeve is known as the main scale. So this is the main scale, this is the head scale or the circular scale. This is the frame of the screw gauge, and this is known as the ratchet knob. This ratchet knob is basically used when you try to close this, you want to bring this spindle towards anvil, or when you try to fix certain object here, the dimension of which is to be measured. So you are going to use only to screw it or to move it forward, you are going to use the ratchet knob only. When you want to open it, you can use this portion of the thimble or the head scale. Because this ratchet knob is having one indicator. Whenever this jaw and this anvil, this spindle and anvil are in contact, this is going to generate tick sound, a sound like tick. That sound is the indicator that no more rotation is required. So there we can stop. So this is the instrument, screw gauge. Various parts I have shown. This is anvil, spindle, sleeve or the main scale. This is the thimble or the circular scale. This is the ratchet knob. This is the lock, the lock which is to be talked about. Suppose we have put something here. Now we want that this thimble should not move accidentally. So we can use this to lock and unlock. When this is in the lock position, this side position, obviously the thimble is never going to move. When this is in the unlock position, or you can say when it is somewhere here, obviously this is in the unlock position, then you can move this circular scale on the main scale. So these are the various parts of the screw gauge. The second thing which we have to do about screw gauge is to find the least count of the screw gauge. The least count of the screw is basically equal to pitch divided by the total number of divisions on the head scale. So as you can see, this is the head scale. In the head scale, total 50 divisions are there. This is 35th division, 40. After that, you are going to find the 45th division, and then 0 mark. So total 50 divisions are there. Now, the total number of divisions are 50. What we have to determine is we have to determine the pitch of the scale, pitch of the main scale, pitch of the screw on which the main scale is moving. So to determine pitch, what is the formula? It is the distance moved by the main scale divided by total number of rotations, given to the head scale. So basically what we do, we keep this head scale in any one of the marks. Suppose I keep it at 5 millimeter. Then I start rotating this thimble or rotating this circular scale, and I give complete rotations, and those rotations are even rotations. Means either I am going to give 2 rotations or 4 rotations or 6 rotations to this head scale. And after that we measure what distance has been moved. Suppose I give it 2 rotations and I see that on the head scale only 1 mm has been moved. Then I say that the pitch of the scale will be equal to distance traveled, that is equal to 1 mm, divided by total number of rotations given is equal to 2. So 1 by 2 mm will be the pitch. When we know the pitch divided by total number of division gives us the least count of the apparatus. Here the instrument which have shown, it is, suppose I give 2 rotations, it moves for 1 mm, so the pitch becomes equal to 0.5 mm. Least count is equal to pitch, that is 0.5 mm, divided by number of divisions on the head scale or thimble, that is equal to 50. So the least count becomes equal to 0.01 mm or 0.001 centimeter. So this is the way in which we get the least count for the screw gauge. You can see here, it is very clear. This is the mark of 0 mm, this is mark of 5 mm, divided into 5 part. So obviously this will be 1 mm, 2 mm, 3 mm, 4 mm, and obviously 5 mm. What is this mark? Basically this is 0 mm, this is 0.5 mm, 1 mm, 1.5 mm, 2 mm, 2.5 mm, and so on. So this is in between these two mark. So this is half mark. Half mark between 0 and 1 mm, obviously 0.5. Half mark between the 3 mm and 4 mm, that is equal to 3.5 mm. So here is the main scale. Here, as I told you, this is 40th mark. After 45th, you are going to get again 0. So total 50 divisions are there. So total readings, when we want to find the reading, we know the least count just now. Now I want to read this. Suppose I want to read, what I have to see is which mark on the main scale has been cleared by this thimble or the circular scale. You can see here 5 is clear, 6 is clear, 7 is clear. 7.5 is not clear. So the main scale reading will be 7 mm. Now, when I want to find the circular scale reading, this is the reference line for the circular scale reading. What I see here, 35th mark has been crossed, 36th, 37th, and 38th is the reading of the circular scale. So 30th division of the circular scale. Main scale reading is 7 mm. So pitch scale reading is 7 mm. Head scale reading is 38 division multiplied by least count, that is equal to 0.01 mm. So the reading of the circular scale becomes 0.38. So the total reading of the screw gauge becomes 7 mm plus 0.38 mm, that is equal to 7.38 mm. So this is how we get the reading of a screw gauge. Now, again we are going to talk about error in this specific case. So as you see, this is the main scale or the pitch scale. This is the head scale or the circular scale. The 0, that is the reference line of the main scale, is here. And the 0 of this circular scale is still to move 2 divisions to reach the reference line. Means it is still to move, still certain distance is to be moved to get this reference line exactly coincident with the reference line on the main scale. Because this has not reached the reference line of the main scale, so as is the case of the vernier calipers, this is going to be the error, 0 error. And because the reference line of the head scale is still to move further to reach this, so this is a positive 0 error in the case of screw gauge. Positive 0 error of 2 divisions. So obviously this 2 division multiplied by least count, that is equal to 0.01 mm, gives 0.02 mm's error, positive error. To get the corrected reading, what I have to do is observed reading minus the zero error with sign. So suppose 2.37 mm is the observed reading, 2.37 minus of positive error, that is 0.02. So the reading becomes equal to 0.35. So this is the corrected reading. This 2.37 is the observed reading, and this 0.02 mm is the error, that is positive zero error. Similarly, when we see the error in this specific case, this is again a screw gauge, and what we see here, this is the reference line of the main scale, this is the reference line of the vernier circular scale, and this zero, that is reference of the head scale, has overshoot the reference line of the main scale, and that's why, because it has overshoot, that's why what we do is we can say that this is an error, and this error is a negative error. It is a negative error. When it is a negative error, I have to find the magnitude of the negative error. There are two different ways of getting it. How many divisions have been overshoot? That you can count. For 1 division, 2 division, and 3 division. So you can say this is the error of 3 division. And other standard method is, you find the reading here. It is 45th, 46th, and 47th. So 47th division is coincident with the reference line. So because it is zero error, total number of division minus this number of division. Total number of division is 50 minus 47, that again becomes equal to 3 division. So there is an error of 3 division, and this 3 divisions error is negative error. So suppose the standard reading or the observed reading is 2.87 mm. The observed reading minus the zero error with sign. So zero error is of 3 division, that is 0.3 mm. So obviously 2.87 minus of minus 0.03. So what we get is 2.90 as the corrected reading, 2.87 as the observed reading, and 0.03 mm is the negative error in the case of this screw gauge. Now, the brief summary of what we have studied in the error is, when this reference line of the screw gauge is exactly coincident with the reference line of the main scale, then this is the case of no error. Suppose the zero reference line of the vernier has overshoot the reference line of this main scale, then this is a negative error. Third is, suppose the zero of the circular scale is still has to move certain distance to reach the reference line, obviously that will be a type of positive error. As I told you that in the case of traveling microscope, you can even have vernier attached with it. In the same way, you can even get a traveling microscope where you get a vernier screw gauge attached with that traveling microscope. So whatever be the case, you are going to measure the separation. So whether a vernier scale is attached or a screw gauge is attached, there is no difference in it. The working principle of the traveling microscope remains the same, just the measuring instruments are going to change. You can see another instrument with the help of which we can find the thickness of the slit. See, this is a micrometer screw slit. This you can see, this is the opening of the slit. This window is basically connected with this screw, and this screw in turns is connected to a screw gauge. This is the main scale of the screw gauge, calibrated from 0 to 5 mm. This 0 to 5 mm is divided into 10 divisions. Obviously, one division is going to correspond to 0.5 mm. This is the circular scale, and in this circular or head scale you can find 100 divisions. So obviously the least count of this micrometer screw, this is slit, you are going to have the least count to be equal to 0.5 mm divided by 100, that is 0.005 mm or 0.0005 centimeter. So that is the instrument which uses another screw gauge. The screw gauge here is not visible. If I tell you that this is the measurement with the help of screw gauge, then you are not going to comprehend it. But this is the screw gauge. Basically, it is the main scale of the screw gauge, and this one is the head scale of the screw gauge. Now, another instrument where you are going to get a screw gauge is this. This is basically a micrometer eyepiece. This eyepiece is used to measure the horizontal separation between the two illuminated objects. So in this is the eyepiece. It is, as you see, it is a Ramsden's eyepiece. Having 10x means it is going to give 10 times magnification. And this eyepiece is basically connected with this screw gauge. This is the main scale of the screw gauge. This one you can see where the cursor is. This is the main scale of the screw gauge, and this one is the head scale of the screw gauge. The way of measurement, getting least count, everything remains same. There is no difference in it. Now, the next most important thing here is how to get the correct reading. Whenever we try to find the reading, it is very much essential to remove the parallax. Suppose I try to see this reading I want to read. I can keep three different positions of I. If the I is here, the reading will be at 0.2. If the I am keeping in this side, the reading will be at 0.5. But the correct reading, if I keep my I exactly above the portion where I have to measure or read the scale, then in that case I am going to have no parallax, and this 8.3 will be the correct reading. So whenever we try to get this type of reading, I must be very careful about the parallax error. Okay. Now you are going to have the assignment question. Every teacher is going to give you certain assignment questions, and that questions are to be answered by you within 10 minutes of completion of this video, and that will be, in that way your performance in the practical classes or the lab will be monitored. So the questions are going to be on these topics, that is vernier calipers, screw gauge. You can even get a question depending on traveling microscope, and you can get a question on spectrometer for measuring the angular separation. You can find the questions of positive and negative error. So these questions you have to answer. And now let us see the staff of the physics department with whom you are going to interact. This is our senior most staff, Dr. Mrs. Ruby Das, and the next staff is Dr. Samit Tiwari, and then the next staff is Dr. Rajesh Lalwani, and the next staff is Dr. Prashant Sahu. Mr. Prashant Sahu has got converted to doctor because he has obtained his PhD degree. So Dr. Prashant Sahu, and last staff with us is Dr. Raunak Tamrakar, and you know, I am talking to you, I am C.S. Robinson. So this is the introduction of the faculties working in the physics department, and that's all in this video.